Welcome back, after several months between recordings, to Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. Last time we came to Fort Deadlight and defeated Benweth, the man who had attacked us initially. And now we are going to be looking for... let's see, where is it? Dunnage. Captain Ferrante should be there to reward us for taking care of our mutual foe. So, can I just go back to the ship here? No. Okay. But we are done here. Right, the docks up here are where we want to go. Where is this? Ooh, we have actually taken some wounds, which we should recover on the ship at least. Ah, there's the fast forward button. Oh, crap. How do I get up there? Oh. Ramparts. As one may guess, I was inspired to hop back into this game by the Awoken announcement, which is a, you know, first-person RPG in this setting. Everyone assumes that it's Obsidian's take on Skyrim. Those same people compare the Outer Worlds to Fallout, though, so it's kind of expected. It's not Fallout, it's another RPG that uses FPS for combat. They have similarities, but they're not the same, you know? Is this not where we parked the boat? Oh, there we go. Come on. Forgot about the loading times. These are a little rough. Sorry? I can't just go back to the Defiant. Wow, we have not explored very much of the world at all. That should really be expected. Okay, where do I go through here to get back to the Defiant? Command, Forge, Dungeons, Courtyard, Shrine. Oh, Underground Docks right here. Yeah. In this gap, I happened to play through the entirety of the first Baldur's Gate, and, wow, I appreciate the goodness of this game even more. Yeah. There's a bunch of lootable stuff here. Repair supplies and water. An arquebus. No sense in leaving supplies in a place where we're probably not going to return. Did I not full loot that? I guess I have all the repair supplies I can carry. Cargo hold place. Well, that's not the Defiant. Is it? No way. Cannon shots and a pistol. Or this was where we had to park it, though. What the heck? Let's see here. Didn't I, like, park it around back? Oh, did I park it around back and then climb up? I think that's what I did. But then how do I get back to the ship? Ah! We're exploring, folks. Sort of. Oh, wait. Let's just try going back to the courtyard. Sorry if my talking's a little shaky. I am in a bit of pain right now. Let's see. I'm just in the regular port. Right, because I have Seraphim here. Okay. So if I look at known locations, Dunnage is up here. So let's go ahead and just set course. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that 3-skull combat. A 10th level cipher. I lose 500 copper. I don't have the ship or the party to deal with this. I'm gonna have to give up a bunch of crap. Sailor experience. Completing encounters and defeating enemy captains at sea earns sailor experience for the crew and captain. Acquiring sailor experience will increase the ranks of a crew member's current job. Crew members can only increase ranks in jail if they already have at least one rank in. The captain always advances your captain rank. So there is some higher level content on that island there. Oh, is that just to go back down onto the ship? Alright. Sorry, it's been quite a while since I played this game. I think I picked this one up in last year's summer sale or something. Alright. Luckily, we do have plenty of supplies, even if they're not the most morale boosting. Oh, I went at much too sharp of an angle there. Alright, let's disembark at Dunnage. Do I know you, Udita?
Damn me for a buttered slice
Wait a
of
second.
It's you, ain't it?
The pale elf squints at you and puffs on her pipe. Acrid smoke from the bowl wreathes her face. Hannah, captain of the Defiant, at your service.
At your service, she says. I'll keep it quick, see? If your little dinghy's got some chase in it, I've got a list of captains with a black mark to their name whose ships need a quick scuttling. And I'm in the market for a scuttler.
She sticks the pipe in the side of her mouth and grins, showing a mouthful of yellow teeth. What makes you think I'd be interested?
Saying you're not. Me? I hear you dive a coin like my second husband to the bottom of a cutlass.
She plucks the pipe from her mouth and leans in to scrutinize you.
Never mind where I heard it. I heard it all the same, mate. Word gets round faster than pox. So, we have a deal?
Where do your bounties come from? She takes the pipe from her mouth and glances away, sighing through her nose.
Better if you don't ask.
Why not?
Because the dead fire's in a big, ugly power play, it is. And not everyone gets quartered for being in the game. One captain, she's a piece, standing 20 rounds distant from the real players. Another, he's a means to some unknowable end. Who's to say why they both need to die?
She gestures with her pipe in a broad circular
And
motion.
the clients he pays for the red worker scuttling. They don't blow the gaff to the elf.
She points first to you, then back to herself before wedging the pipe back between her teeth. What bounties do you have available?
Fast friends, I did.
She claps you on the shoulder and grins, her pipe wagging in her
We're
teeth.
looking to scuttle Cornu first, one of Rowatai's finest, eh? I don't ask my client what he did or scale his death balances. Safer to keep questions in the hold.
I'll take the
Of course
bounty.
he will. Knows a good opportunity when you seize it. Cornu helms a Voyager early muster in the waters north of Nakataka and south of Sayup.
Alright, farewell. So we have bounties. Nice. A large Almoa sailor sits on the docks, broad shoulders hunched forward, back bowed. When he shifts, his blue-green skin ripples over his hulking muscles.
No cruel eye of me. What good's a pirate who can't see? Forget navigating by the stars or shooting a pistol. I can't even swing a sword accurately now. Have a pity and toss me a pyre, will you?
What's your story?
Is this what my life boils down to? A moment of entertainment for others?
He sighs heavily, big shoulders hunched.
I was a bosun not so long ago, and a damn good one at that. But I took a shot to the face, see?
He waves one massive hand in front of his sightless eyes.
Didn't lose much skin. The flash burned out my eyesight. I can't make out so much as a blurry shape more than a foot away. Make me right useless on a crew now, don't it? No one will have me for work.
Oh, here's your 5 copper.
Blessings to you for sharing, sailor.
Farewell. Let's see. So we've got a fairly small map here. Carlo, Fortuny, and K. Polzek. A trim man in practical, well-crafted leathers watches you from the corner of his eyes. When he catches you looking his way, his hand drifts casually to the dagger at his hip and lingers for a moment. Then he smiles, the corners of his hazel eyes crinkling with genuine warmth, and waves you over. He rubs thoughtfully at the stubble along his jaw. Tell me about yourself.
I was born to a family of merchants on the Pearl Coast. I was a restless boy, and my feet took me to the Valen Republics when I grew up.
As Carlos speaks, his previously strong Valian accent begins to fall away, and his voice takes on the characteristic twang of the deerwood.
I learned of the power of geography and language in my father's meeting, and those skills proved useful in the Republics. I had many successful years as a merchant, and then I made a mistake.
Go on. He gives you a small smile and an easy shrug of his shoulders.
I joined up with a company based in Girard that traded in beautiful weapons, but they were ill-gotten gains, forcibly produced by a weaver the company kidnapped named Monisel. I didn't learn the truth until it was too late, and when our crime was uncovered, I was exiled from the Republics.
That's a shame.
Indeed, but I should have asked better Eastern, wasn't it? Ah, well, I learned my lesson. I won't regret.
Tell me about yourself.
I was born to a
Oh,
family.
that's
I
the
learned
same
to
thing.
I joined the indeed. I would like to make a money set out personally, but it seems
Can you teach me what you learned in the Valian Republics?
Mark, you listen to my tale. I suppose I can do that for you for 3,000 copper.
Ooh, bonus to sleight of hand and diplomacy. I'll try to remember that. And K. You find a woman of early middle years, dressed in fine if dirty armor, adorned with bright purple piping. A pair of long scars bisect her brow and jaw. Though she stands at ease, a nervous energy thrums through her.
Fair day, traveler.
She grins broadly, a joyful twinkle lighting her eyes.
Anything I can do for you, just say the word.
Tell me about yourself.
Lady adventurer at your humble service. I was born in a deer and raised in a field, and there's nary a crevice of this archipelago I haven't seen.
The field?
The living lands most off, but the dead fire is well away. And my goodness, if you think the dead fire is wild, I must say, it's no more thrilling than a lady of luxury's afternoon luncheon in comparison to the glorious madness of the living lands. Being a cipher's coming quite handy, I'll tell you that.
You get into trouble often, then.
Oh, dear me, yes. Can't seem to avoid it. Not a lick of it's my fault, of course. It's the university. Always sending me to the most dangerous corners of Eola and the skips. If I didn't know better, I might say they were trying to kill me. There's not other way to rid themselves of a tenured professor, after all.
Get any good stories out of it, at least?
Oh, aye. Some you wouldn't right believe. Like the time I lost part of my hearing. See?
She pulls back her hair and shows you her mangled ear. Looks like something's had a good chew on it.
Lost an entire research team along with the ear. Rather a long day that was. My colleagues have implied I might be cursed, but I can't say much to it. It's just the nature of the work, you understand. I mean, goodness, if you want a lady to find you the rarest plants, you gotta send her to most remote places. On my last expedition, my colleague Hennis got herself lost looking for what was essentially a big prickly wound. No medicinal use at all. I found her though, mostly intact even. Blessing from the living lands, I call it. But I do go on, don't I?
Alright, and what can you teach me? Stealth and metaphysics.
Positive, I suppose.
Hang on. Alright. There is a pig to collect, presumably. Like the other pets. Chauncey. +1 dexterity for the party. Ooh, that is not bad. I'll think about it. I honestly thought that the, what was it called? The neglected pig was an inn. Let's see here. Dunnage exports pirates, which is funny. Democratic oligarchy. Huh, that sounds familiar. Pretty diverse racial makeup. Let's see. We are in Lifter's Refuge. There's a Radiant Court, Balefire Beacon, and the King's Coffin. Let's go to the King's Coffin. Wondreth. Yoink. Let's see. Another sighted the floating hangman. The crew perished, but their logbook was recovered. A ghastly and rotting ship that haunts the Deadfire. Manned by an undead crew, the vessel is rumored to becalm the seas and sails veiled within an unnatural fog. There we go. Let's see. Jacob Harker. At the bar, you find a tall man with salt gray hair and strikingly bright blue eyes. His face sports a handful of long scars that continue down his neck and disappear beneath the collar of his shirt. He looks up from wiping down the counter when you approach and gives you a broad, disarming smile.
Haven't seen you around before. Welcome to the King's Coffee.
His smile is wide enough to show his bright white teeth, but his light eyes remain cold and flinty.
What can I do?
Tavern looks a lot like an old ship.
Figured that out all on your own, did you?
He winks.
You're right, though. Inherited an old dhow from my dog. Right piece of shit it was, too. Realised I was bound to make more going turning her into a tavern than letting her rot.
Fair enough. I want to buy something.
So long as
Provisions.
cool.
Right. Actually, I shouldn't buy anything. I have plenty of food and water. Well, I have plenty of drink. Take 6 food per day. Let's see. Let's buy the cuttlefish, because that's super cheap. Roe, white infer. Alright. So let's see if there's anyone notable up here. The Consualgo Council of Casitas. Huh. Yerwana. An older woman looks you up and down and smiles, revealing several gold teeth.
Help with something, my dear?
No, we're fine. Just looking for someone. The wall is notched and scarred from countless knife throws that completely missed the target. Pietro. Hunched on his hands and knees, quivering and drenched in sweat, the pirate let out a pain-filled groan. What's wrong with you?
My ship was attacked and boarded by pirate hunters. Didn't know if we'd be able to get away, so I swallowed down my most valuable possession. Gutty's black tear. Gemstone, about the size of my fist. Of course now it ain't coming out of either end. Been trying all manner of foul concoctions to no effect. On account of my stomach being too strong. Years of sailing the
What can I do to help?
Make me puke. Whatever you're gonna do, just make it happen before this cursed gem kills me. Give me something strong enough to upset even my iron gut. Rosanella's got a stand in the radiant cold. She's been supplying me with some experimental concoctions, tweaking them after. Tell her the last one actually came close to working.
Alright. Let's go ahead and stay the night.
What can I do? What do you want? How heavy is it?
Let's see here. We can get 10% max health and +1 engaged enemy count, +2 might and concentration, or +3 perception and +1 max empowerment. I'm going to take the health buff, but that max empowerment could actually be really good. There, we're all healed up, and it's daytime, so we can head out to the market. Which I assume is what the Radiant Court is, given there are market stalls in the art. Are we sure that Ferrante did not mention where to find him, unfortunately.
Fresh fruit, vegetables, dried goods for long voyages. I got it all right here. What can I stock you up with today?
Alright, let's just pick up... Actually, it appears that I would like your entire stock. Because I am in rather desperate need of food. Probably not the spices or sugar, though. Give me all the cheap stuff, yeah. And I can go ahead and sell off some of this gear. There we go. Only 35 food, Jesus.
Andre's gills. There's no hope. That was a disaster of epic proportions if ever I directed one.
Arms flailing wildly before her, the stage performer shoos the other actors from the set.
A typhoon couldn't have cleared out our audience faster.
What's wrong?
What's wrong? I'll tell you what, everything. My troops coming apart at the seams. We're short on cash, we're low on people, we've run plumb dry on enthusiasm.
She ticks the points on her fingers.
We haven't drawn a decent crowd in more than a fortnight. And it ain't like pirates are hard to please. That's how you know the show really stinks. I think I know what the problem is. We've got a lack of flair. If only I could hire more talented performers. I just know my play would take off.
What's your play about?
Only the biggest thing to hit the dead fire since the Valian Trading Company started hunting us like sea hounds. I'm talking about Aethus storming through the archipelago and capsizing nearly a whole fleet of our ships.
What would you need to improve the play?
A better Aethus, for one. I'm the tallest one in our troop. I'm still not very convincing, even when I bother to dye my skin blue. Also, our special stage effects aren't all that special anymore. We had someone for that role, but she got herself into debt and has a new job at the King's Coffin.
I'll help you.
Really? Well, that's great. Then we could...
Abruptly, her eyes narrow, her dark brows furrowing with heavy suspicion.
Wait a tick. Why were would you help me? What do you get out of this?
I really want to see how this play turns out.
With you helping me acquire the right talent, I'd wager it's going to be phenomenal. I'm in desperate need of 2 more performers. A wizard for one, plus any oaf big enough to pose as Aethus. I happen to know a wizard of the finest skill set who already performs here in Dunnage, Diana, at the King's Coffin. Unfortunately, I got no idea of where we might find a suitable Aethus. Get me the right people for the parts, and I promise you'll be pleased with your investment. I'll turn us a profit or die trying.
Alright, we know where one person is then. Let's see, there's a shop called the Treasure Trove over here.
Captain was a drinker from the day he was born.
So we're looking for someone large and strong looking.
Welcome to the Treasure Trove, sailor.
A strapping godlike blinks between the swollen, crusty tumors lining her eyes. Her lips crack, weeping a sappy substance as she speaks.
Anything in my trove catches your eye, you let me know. Alright.
Let's see here. You have some legendary items, but judging by the price, and some potions. Alright, let's look. Sun and Moon. A legendary one-handed flail with arcing blows. 10% of grazes converted to hits. Twin Gods hits twice, but with reduced damage. Sun adds 25% burn damage, and Moon adds 25% freeze damage. And Celestial Attunements. Day. During the day, wielder receives increased power level for fire attacks. At night, for frost attacks. There's the Squid's Grasp, a legendary rapier. With accurate, legendary, at the ready, cannot be flanked. Squid's Escape, and Calmo's Curse. Squid's Escape breaks engagement and expertly avoids the next attack, diving out of range to a specific location. Blinds and confuses nearby enemies, used once per rest, and it's a free action in combat. Calmo's Curse inflicts major penalties to nearby allies against intellect afflictions. There's also Rekvu's Stained Grasps, which grant Death Denied, whereas immune to Constitution afflictions while they carry 1 or more injuries. Mirrorback, a cloak with Parabolic Weave, 10% to reflect spells, and Visual Refraction, +5 deflection against ranged weapons, and +2 stealth. Void Ward, minus 25% raw damage taken, +2 corrosive armor rating on a ring. Torque of Intellect, +1 intellect on the neck. Ring of Minor Deflection, +2 deflection on the ring. Cloak of Protection, +5 fortitude, reflex, and will on the cape. Iridescent Scale, superb medium armor with elemental disruption. And Coalescing Forces grants Conjure Major Blight, or Greater Blight. Gathers an immense quantity of stray soul fragments and coalesces them into a greater storm, sand, flame, ice, or earth blight. Okay. 14 grand, though. Necklace of fireballs with 8 charges of fireball. I'll hold off, but there are some neat things in here. Just very expensive neat things. I'd really like that flail.
How off? Is there any way you can bring your Samir back? The whole point of suppressing her was to keep her out of my head. I miss her impressions. If she could do this one of you, which she did over and over. It was real good, though. She could do all your twitching, your squeaky voice when you got nervous.
Coel Marcellus. The first thing you notice about this man is the nature of his attire. Loud and clashing reds and purples, bright as a peacock. On second glance, you see that he's tall and lanky, boyishly handsome in an unkempt way, with a trim beard and a friendly smile. He hums a little tune to himself as he watches the passers-by.
My good lady, hello.
He gives you a frightfully cheery wave and beckons you closer.
Whatever might I do for you?
Tell me about yourself.
I'm certain there's no need to tell you, observant as you no doubt are, that I am an actor.
He says that last bit with a flourish and takes an extravagant bow.
Stage, tavern, street corner. They are as much my home as where I lay my head at night. So, I travel Aora, looking for opportunities to share my gifts with the grateful masses, wherever that may lead.
Make a lot of money doing that?
Oh, goodness, yes, loads of it. I've been known to joke that I'm less a man than I am a walking bank for all the coin that I carry. The common folk do so love an actor. We bring mystery and excitement to their otherwise dreary lives. Yes, you could say we're doing the God's work.
As he speaks, you notice the toes of his soft boots are worn thin. A closer inspection reveals that his robes are unraveling at the hems and are well patched at the elbows, too. You're a broke, aren't you?
How dare you! But you're not wrong, to my great chagrin. Times have been tough of late, what with the giant statues smashing up the place, and few in the dead fire have coin to spare besides. It's quite difficult, you know, living as I do. On occasion, foolish folk will take my act for reality. I've thrice been run out of a town for impersonating a foreign dignitary. Damn fools don't understand the blistering wit of my satire, I tell you. I had to learn to protect myself as a result, though I must admit, what martial skills I've got aren't of use for much more than fighting off wolves or throttling a thief with designs on my satchel. Thank the gods, I hardly ever need to use them. I can talk myself out of nearly anything, you know.
Sure can talk, I'll give you that.
Well, thank you. I must say it's gratifying to be recognized for one's talents. All things being equal, I'd much rather recite a sonnet than swing an axe. But a man's got to make his way in the world any way he can. I would be honored.
And he can teach me bluff and streetwise. He's not exactly tough enough for our purposes. Ramasso.
Welcome to my emporium. Whatever you need, I sell. What would you like to buy today?
You own all these stalls?
Do now. I started out with only one stall and eventually branched out, buying out my competitors one by one.
So you have the Pale Hide, legendary light armor with winter coat and clad in mist. Eager Blade, a superb S-Stock with Vehement, scoring a crit, grants +2 accuracy and +5% action speed, and Bounding Strike, scoring a hit on a near-death target, also damages nearby it. Oh, it's Cleave, nice. And Amra, an exceptional battle axe with bonus crit damage, requires 2 hands to wield but deals increased damage. Temper, 25% chance on scoring a kill with this weapon to frenzy the wielder. Gore, if the wielder's might is 25 or above. Critical hits with this weapon cost 25% of base damage. Weapon damage in an area around the wielder. So that's like a really good berserker axe. Some pre-enchanted equipment.
Looking for work. I've got coin and a few scores to settle. You carry yourself like a person well acquainted with violence. Care to put your skills to use for a good cause? And some coin?
She dances a coin across her knuckles, mirth a bright glint in her eyes. Tell me about the cause you mentioned.
It's simple enough. The firebrand commanded by Captain Henqua once plagued the Deadfire. The skill and brutality of Henqua's crew was the stuff of legends.
Desirels flicks the coin she's holding and snatches it from the air with a grin. Up close, it's clearly a swollenette.
Legendary nightmares, more like. After how they did the crew the virtuous reward. Even that bastard Benwith wanted nothing to do with them.
But pirate legends don't live long.
Some months ago, an alliance of Neketaka pirate hunters managed to corner the firebrand and sink her off the coast of Tikawara. They confirmed Captain Henqua's death, but her senior crew members escaped unscathed. And now it seems like bringing the firebrand's crew to justice doesn't matter to anyone but me.
Even in the low light, you can see a vein throbbing at her temple. Her voice drops to a low growl.
So I want you to kill them. And I'll pay you out of my own pocket if you do.
Sounds like you've got a grudge.
It's nothing personal. The crew earned their reputation through murder and thievery. And it would make me sick to see them regain an ounce of their power.
She tries for a nonchalant shrug, but it comes off looking like she's got a sore shoulder instead. As she speaks, Desiree removes a small swollen end from her pocket and polishes the surface with the corner of her shirt. Her features soften like she's revisiting an old memory. Then she stuffs the coin back in her pocket with a barely audible sigh. You're not telling me everything.
Take keen eye, my friend. I reserve a bit of the firebrand story for myself, and you'll excuse me if I don't plan to share it. Let's keep business strictly business, huh?
I'll hunt down those pirates then. Who am I looking for?
The firebrand had a mascot. A useless little bastard, who's taken to calling himself Lord Admiral E. He's not terribly dangerous on his own, but he's keen to make a nuisance of himself wherever he goes.
She rubs the bridge of her nose and sighs. With a sigh, Seraphin rolls his large eyes.
Last I heard, Lord Admiral Im was making himself comfortable in Queen's Berth. You'll find him there with a few zarps and constructs the little buggers convinced to follow him. Bless their simple hearts.
Noted. Next.
You'll be taking down Lady Ipiro, Captain Henqua's former first mate and a woman lover. She's a cipher, and a dangerous one at that. Ipiro maintains an estate in Serpent's Crown in Neketaka. But I wouldn't recommend you rush in muzzles blasting and swords held high. She keeps a number of bodyguards.
She winks, all smiles. I'll be careful. Who else am I after?
You'll be going after Katren, the firebrand's resident wizard. Rumor has it she was once an apprentice to alchemy before turning pirate. Last I heard, Katren and her sundry little minions could be found lazing about the sacred stair here in Neketaka at night. No idea where she disappears off to during the day.
Right. Moving
I
on.
have a challenge for you, my friend. And his name is Torkar, leader of the Firebrand's boarding parties. He's an ogre with a reputation for cleverness and cruelty both. I've even heard tell it was Torkar who was behind the Firebrand's most successful tactics, not Henqua. Torkar was last seen at Lifter's refuge here in Dunnage. They've set on joining a crew, or assembling his own. I trust you want to let that happen.
She cocks one dark eyebrow in question. Farewell. She nods and gives you a showy wink. Alright. Let's see. Rosanella.
Who's the captain who murdered Renwith? Looks cleaner than I expected.
Alright. Rosanella.
Captain Hellbook's been talking about. Aye, you do look like a fearsome sort. Welcome to Dunnage. What you having? I'll pour you a double.
Oh, Pietro sent me to you.
I guess the last concoction I made for him didn't do the trick then. Poor bastard. There's one last tincture recipe I know that won't kill him. Probably. It's called Andra's Bile. I don't have all the ingredients in stock. You'll need a rotten hagfish, an unripened palm stone, and a vial of fire kelp extract. Have them mix it all with a half tankard of grog, and well, hope for the best.
I did buy that unripened palm stone. Where can I find the other ingredients?
Barrels around Lifter's refuge for the rotten hagfish. You might be able to find unripened palm stone for sale somewhere in Radiant Court.
She pours a drink, but rather than passing it to a patron, she owns it herself.
The King's Coffin usually keeps some fire kelp extract on hand for special purposes. Be careful when dealing with that one.
Why do I need a rotten hagfish instead of a regular one?
The goal is to make him vomit, remember? A rotting hagfish produces a special oil once it reaches a certain level of decay.
And how come you didn't try this one before?
I did tell you the list of ingredients, eh? He'll have stuff dribbling out of both ends for a week. Maybe 2 if he's really unlucky.
Alright, farewell.
Did you hear? The gelded kestrel was lost at sea.
From Goldfinch Fleet?
Alright, let's go ahead and nab ourselves these ingredients since they're in places we've already been. Plus, you know, we need to go back to the tavern anyway for the wizard. Silver fins and salt. I won't complain. Zorro, a cat. The rotten hagfish I needed. Nice. I guess our buddy is going to be at the beacon. Let's see, who'd she say would have it? Oh, I can buy it here.
What can I do for
Any fire kelp extract for sale?
you? Will do. And at a generously discounted price. £250.
I'll take a vial.
Careful you don't get any. Burns like a mother. Burns like a wish that sting on anybody. Not even the worst enemy. Actually, yeah. Yeah.
He chuckles deeply to himself as he hands you the vial of fire kelp extract. Terna.
If you're enjoying my performance, tips are welcome but not required. Thank you, loyal patron.
Voice monotone, the wizard examines her nails as she speaks. A hand on her hip, she cocks her head as she waits for you to speak. Calandra needs you for her play.
I'm happy to go back working for her, except I owe Harker over there a good deal of money.
She jerks her head toward the far end of the bar.
Stupid dice when cold at the wrong time. Until I pay him what I owe, 700 pyres, I'm not going anywhere.
Anything else I can do to get you out?
Talk it over with Harker. Maybe you'll be feeling generous.
She snorts as if she's made a joke.
A more likely possibility is he'll try and put a knife between your ribs. Assuming he doesn't, or you survive it, you ought to know he hides his money in his private quarters. Would be a shame if someone stole it.
What can you tell me about Harker?
You haven't heard the rumours, I take it?
Her voice drops to a raspy whisper.
Some people say he's the Red King.
Infamous pirate? Heard he was lost at sea years ago. Anna reads.
I'd heard that too. But some folks say he faked his death to escape the wrath of the Valian Republic.
The elf leans closer, conspiratorially, to murmur near your
Those
ear.
same folks say that Harker was the Red King.
Licking the corner of her mouth, she straightens. She smooths her hair with trembling fingers.
I wouldn't go on asking him about it, if you know what I mean. Harker's got a nasty reputation. A real violent disposition. And besides, people in this port generally don't like others prying into their past.
Well, here's a tip.
Oh, thank you, patron. I'll be debt-free in no time.
Despite her words, she doesn't actually sound appreciative. In fact, she rolls her eyes as she tucks the coin into her pocket. Well, farewell. Hey, Mr. Harker.
What can I do for
Heard rumors you're the Red King.
you? Infamous to his enemies. Famous to his friends.
He narrows his eyes and sizes you up before saying more.
Folks decided to call me the Red King. I had nothing to do with that. But I didn't tell them to stop neither.
He grins.
See, the Valian Republic strove my nard down business. And I repaid them in kind by taking their ships and treasure. Got right tired king is dead. If you ask me any more about him,
Farewell. So, private quarters, huh? I suppose that it'd be, well, probably not actually the room that gets rented out, but let's see. Who has the stealth again? Right. Yeah, it is not worth using that. Do I lose reputation for picking a lock but not taking anything, though? See, it's Aloth who has mechanics, I think. Is it Anna?
Happy to oblige.
Someone took mechanics. Oh, it was Anna. Oh, the difficulty is 12. A young man dressed in skin-tight leathers gives you a quick once-over. You must like what he sees because he smiles wide, his lips just parted. There's also the demon here. Right. The blanket is stained with what you hope is dried ale. Trying to figure out... Actually... Cannot pickpocket while being observed. Like, are you gonna automatically observe as soon as... Oh. Okay, that is interesting. But you know what? Let's just pay up.
what can I do to you, Ditchy? A woman can spot a soft-hearted mark from 50 paces, like a sixth sense or something.
He nods you conspiratorially, as if he didn't just imply you were a sucker easily parted from your money. Aloth hums approvingly.
Here's the thing, though. It's more profitable for me to keep her under my thumb, so sweet as your offer is. Unless there's something else you need, I think we're done.
He turns away and begins fiddling with something underneath the bar. As he does, you spy a red-handled pistol stuffed into the band of his breeches. Will he take something else in exchange for her freedom?
If I wanted something
Well, Jacob, my friend, I'm afraid I can't really just let you say I can't free her. And this is gonna hurt you a lot more than it's going to hurt me, my friend. Assuming that not everyone just jumps to your defense, which is actually fairly likely to happen. And I forgot to move a dare up there. Why is Tyrna helping? Okay. Maybe I need to tell her. Like, hey, dude's being a big old dick. More like being a little old dick.
What can I do? Got you. Here's the thing. Unless there's something else. If I want it, what can I do?
Welcome back, patron. I so hope you enjoy the performance.
What if I just give you the money?
Give it to me, give it to Harker. Knowing him, he'll tack on a few extra expenses just to spite me. I can't fathom why you're doing this, but... Welcome back.
What's stopping you from leaving this place exactly?
Never end in debt to Harker. Every time I manage a payment, the interest has gone and doubled.
How'd you wind up here?
I was playing dice and gambled on a sure thing. It turned out not to be such a sure thing, and now Harker owns my arse until I can pay off the debt. Of course, I started off owing him $250, and even though I've paid that twice, now I'm in the hole for $700. The interest rate, this uniform, my food and drinks, they all got added onto my tab at the end of the day.
Alright, let's see here. I'll have to be more convincing or offer up more money. Right, I'll have to return to that one then. Now back to the back and forth between the King's Coffin and Radiant Court. I can always just see if I bump up a level here.
If it's a drink you're wanting, I got enough grog stock to drown a shark. Food's another story. What are you having? I'll pour you a double.
Wait, don't I have everything? I guess he's the one who's going to mix it. That's not how I thought that was going to go. I thought I had to go to her so she could mix it and all that, but what do I know? Damn, my gut, just kill me now. Skin pasty. Oh, there we go. Skin pasty, upper lip beaded with sweat, the sailor sways and moans. Rosanella says this should work. Hands trembling, Pietro hastily mixes the contents into a wooden mug half filled with water. With a nervous swallow, he lifts the mug to his lips and downs the concoction. After several moments, nothing happens, and he shakes his head, expression grim. But then he goes white as a sheet. His throat mottles red, and his mouth pops open in a little O of surprise.
Oh, God! It's coming out of the other end now!
Iron Gut scoops up the vomit-coated gemstone and what appears to be a black pearl the size of a small rock. He gives it a quick wipe down before thrusting it into your hands. How much money is that for? Probably a lot.
Oh, now, if you'll excuse me, I need a change of bottoms.
Biting back a curse, he hurries off. Quest completed. How much XP do I need to level up? Like 700. Which means I should actually be able to do it by going to the Balefire Beacon and hopefully finding my employer. Alright, come on. Two-eyed pin.
Much ado to you, I guess.
The captain flourishes a sweeping bow. When he bends forward, a golden swollen slips from his collar to dangle on the end of its chain. He tucks it away as he straightens, but not before you notice the etching on its front side. It marks him as the third chair on the Consuaglo Ms. Casitas.
If you are looking for Ferrante, he is presiding over the Consuelo from his chair.
Consuelo.
You will find it seated in the center of the chambers ahead. Elsewise, how might I be of assistance?
I want a fourth seat.
The Consuelo will need to vote on it. But with your reputation, and if you vanquished Benwith, as appears to be the case, I do believe you are the most qualified to take his place. I will speak with Ferrante so that he may consider the matter further. You have my ear, President. Of what do you wish to discuss today?
Nothing in particular. I actually want to talk to Ferrante. Chin jutting upward, he grants you a winsome smile. His left cheek dimples as the smile spreads to show teeth.
Ahoy there yourself, Captain. What do I be but a pretty bit of man meat to dangle from a wrist? As easily forgotten as set aside.
Arms akimbo and his head askance, Seraphin smirks. Ferrante rubs his thumb over his golden swollenette, violent thoughts gliding over his face like dark clouds. He then smiles, but it's a vicious expression more than a pleasant one. His eyes glint as a fierce grin cuts across his face, and his lone dimple deepens.
For this you have my grandest commendation. You'd have been right amused, you would. Few sights as fine as that hard-blowing three-sheeter getting what's long been doing.
Hands on his hips, Seraphin juts his chest forward, blue fur expanding like a bird's plumage.
You are lacking in so many ways, my former ship hunter, that no one can say you are not entertaining. I myself would have enjoyed watching you put the scoundrel in his place.
I didn't bother with Benwith just for your praise.
No, as my memory serves me, you did not.
A flare of anger sharpens his smile and burns darker the color of his eyes.
And as promised, I have prepared for you a fine prize.
With a sweep of his arm, he offers you a magnificent cloak, a cloak of protection.
However, there is another matter of which we must now speak. I must confess to you a bit of a problem has arisen. One which speaks to your expertise with the supernatural. We've sighted the floating hangman that haunts the Deadfire.
I've read accounts of an undead ship that flies a Darkazi flag, yes.
It would seem I have undervalued you, Watcher.
His dark eyes glint with interest.
I will not mince words, as you undoubtedly know what we are up against. This guy, what likely remains of the Von Ferrens, is a frightful legend. We have been losing ships at sea, Amica, and not to those Venera ship-hopping bastards. I believe the floating hangman may be our culprit. Fortune favors us, as I have procured a survivor from such a recent sinking. You will consider what she has to say.
Head craning abruptly to the side, he barks a loud order.
Come forth, Selene. Quickly now, or I will run the rivers of your lethargic blood.
At that last, he smiles. Sun-blistered and raw-boned, the pirate regards you both with a discerning glare. She tongues a chapped bottom lip, but keeps quiet.
Spit it out, Selene, and try not to embarrass me before our guest.
Of course, Captain. It might have pretty hard in the end, but I spit the tale as best as I can.
The pirate touches a spot at the base of her skull and winces. She glances off to the sky, eyes black and full of hurt. Ferrante sighs and rubs tiredly between his brows.
Come on, Mom. Ready as I'm like to get me.
With a shiver, the pirate turns her black button eyes to you. Try not to press you to remember more than we absolutely need.
You aren't quite what I expected, Watcher. You're
She wets her lips.
kinder than most.
Selenia pointedly avoids Ferrante's gaze, a grimy hand scrubbing at her mouth.
Saw my old crew slaughtered me, my best mates, and even a few I hated. They weren't but blood and meat in the end. It branded the back of my eyes that moment. High seas, nothing but blue all around. Then, mist so thick you could taste it. Ships sailed from within. Out of nowhere was a hunt, not for loot, but for bodies. The ship, it looked.
She gropes at her hip, but there's nothing there. Fingers fumbling at the air, she bares her teeth.
Rotted. The crew, they were all undead. Couldn't stop them from boarding. Couldn't kill them. Couldn't even fight them in the end.
How are you taken by surprise on the open sea?
Me and my crew were adept. Alert. Always. No. Weren't no one gonna get the jump on us. Was some magic foul. Just sudden night. The winds died. The waters fell flat and the air got heavy. They turned sky and the sea both against us. Then this thick fog roiled up at midday. Without a sound, the spectre ship
She glides her hair in the air.
skimmed right
Hand in
out.
the air, rather.
It was too late. We couldn't outsail it.
When did this happen? She ruffles a hand through her short hair, scowls.
Dunno, drifted for days, maybe longer. Kept winking in and out after I ran out of drink.
One of mine found her more than a week ago. Malnourished, dehydrated. The poor girl was scarcely able to speak.
Well, I'm more than able to gather now, aren't I? Could sail, too. No, you got no reason to keep me.
She flits her hands over the softness of her shirt. Again, her fingers hesitate close to her hip, the fabric crinkled there where a pistol might normally be strapped. A muscle ticks in Ferrante's jaw, but he otherwise ignores her.
Perhaps there is something else you wish to ask of our guest before she departs from us.
Tell me about the undead.
They were dreadful. Some were clothed, like baby that only recently died. Others weren't more than moving bones. One was different. Her presence was overwhelming. Heavy. Flames burned in the base of her eyes. The crew shambled hard to do her bidding. Even the ones who seemed hardly aware. Figured she was the captain, me.
She shrugs, gaze going far away.
There is a flag in the floating hangman flies. A flag that once heralded the fortunes of Old Vania. It belonged to a dark paladin of some legend. One Sierra Riva. But Selena's knowledge is limited in this regard. Let us instead ask her of a subject she may know.
How'd you survive the attack?
Wanna be craven? Sure, I am.
She snorts. She rubs at the back of her head, rough, like she needs it to hurt.
Took a knock in and I was out for a while. When I came to, they were eating a Nazca. I was steward. I dropped a dinghy and rode for it. Don't know why they didn't give chase. Don't much care.
That'll be all. Selenia cuts a glance to Ferrante for confirmation. When he dismissively waves her away, her black eyes narrow and she raises her chin, defiant. But then he turns his full gaze to her, suddenly seething, and she shrinks in on herself. Fists shaking at her sides, she reluctantly retreats.
You undoubtedly will come to claim us soon. But that is a problem for another time.
Ferrante sighs.
One moment, Watcher.
The Captain scowls at Selenia's retreating back, a dark anger warming his cheeks. Dare and be damned, Captain, as I believe you told Selenia, spit it out already. He grins, wild and roguish.
Looks like we'll be making a salty grog-sucking cur of this one yet.
Alath rolls his eyes. The mirth evaporates from his face.
Allow me to cut to the heart of it. Lucia Revan, whose flag flies atop our spectral ship, was a Dakonsi paladin who died more than 200 years ago. It is my hope that uncovering the details regarding dear Revan's fate in life may illuminate the nature of her undeath and how to defeat her galleon. Unfortunately, the only soul who could possibly shine more light on our situation lies buried deep within Neketaka. One Isir in the Meridian, now well rotted and resumed.
I take it you have a plan.
Indeed, I do.
He flashes you a devious grin.
Though I and mine cannot so openly venture to the depths of Neketaka, nor can we commune with the dead. You, Watcher, are adept in both of these areas. Correct. You must search the Temple of Merath on Neketaka's sacred stair. His ears tomb within it should contain a chronicle for how and where he slayed our paladin, Revan.
I'll see what I can do.
Do return when you have any lead that may navigate us to where the floating hangman anchors. I will be waiting.
He nods cordially in dismissal. God, I don't like this guy. Alright. Well, it's... seems like that's all we can do here in Dunnage. So it looks like basically everything we can do right now is pointing us to Neketaka. Except our bounties. Well, one of the bounties is pointing us around Neketaka. Received an important missive from Captain Aldous. So, he had a little run-in with Ben, and then he dragged it up to my doorstep. You could have wiped your feet before he stomped in, but I digress. I know what you did, and I know who you are, and unlike my unfortunately blockheaded second-in-command, I recognize a threat when it smacks me upside the head. So, this is me, Captain Aldous, commander of the God's-damned New Blood Principe, leader of the second-largest fleet of pirates in the God's fucking dead fire, inviting you, a terrifyingly powerful and strange watcher, to come and meet me under the strictest parley at Fort Deadlight. Which is to say, I promise not to gut you when you arrive for dinner and drinks. Looking forward to having a little hearthside chat. I'd like to offer you a partnership of the most glorious and goriest variety. I scratch your back, you gut my enemy's hip from jaw. We laugh at their deaths over a bottle of the finest rum. Oh, and when you come, bring some candied nuts. Your newest and dearest friend, Aldous. P.S. This is not a trap. Uh-huh. Alright, so we have... Sayuka... Neketaka as major destinations at this point. So we have a bounty on Chornu, north of Neketaka, south of Sayuka. Let's see, Lord Admiral Imp, who is not currently doable. Let's see. That's one of the DLCs. Symbols of Death, not doable right now. Goods and Services. That's going to see Captain Aldous. It seems like we're going to want to go between Sayuka and Neketaka next. So next time on Let's Play Pillars of Eternity 2 Dead Fire, we're going to go bounty hunting. See you guys then.